Right, guys, mad, don't care again. Hopefully now this is going to be my last video on the legislation and the frameworks, because I want to just get down to business now. I just want to get down to the lesson structures. I hope I'm going to dispel the myths now in this video. And I just want to hit the ground running now, guys. We've got to drum up support and we've got to get this legislation thrown out, okay? So what I'm going to discuss in today's video is the relationship and sexuality education in schools framework for Wales, all right? So this is just the draft. And this was published in February 2019. It's a 31-page document, but only 10 pages is actually on the framework itself. A lot of it is just, you know, like the general stuff about the holistic approach and stuff like that. Anyway, just stuff you find in social care documents anyway, nothing, you know, nothing specific. At the end of the document then, there are 10 case studies, and they are lovely case studies. They're done in local schools, but none of them are relevant to this, right? But I still mention them anyway, but they're totally irrelevant. They just part of the grooming process as far as I'm concerned, you know. Right, so let's get down to business then. So all those people sending screenshots from Wales Online, all those people saying United Nations and the World Health Organization is nothing to do with our education system. All those people saying that Wales, we got devolved powers. Well, guys, I do a lot of work in youth justice. I know all about devolution of powers. You know, youth justice comes under Westminster, but the services are under devolved powers. I've also got a degree in social policy, so I read this stuff day in, day out. I got a kids with additional needs. I know what I'm doing, but I know what I'm reading, right? So, as I was saying, those people saying that it's nothing at all to do with the UN and it's nothing at all to do with who, well, you tell me why in these 10 pages does it mention them 9 times? You tell me. Because these documents are telling me from the first page, they're telling me to refer to UNESCO, United Nations Education, and the World Health Organization. Right, so you were telling me now that Wales Online have told you no. Well, I'm glad Wales Online know exactly what they are talking about, okay? Because that's what these documents say. They do not say kids are going to be sexually stimulated in school from the age of 4. No, they do not, right? They do not say that sex education is compulsory in primary schools either, right? No, it doesn't say that. But what it does say is, if a school chooses to, a primary school, then they are to refer to UNESCO, okay? So that's these documents that we're talking about. So before anyone says, yeah, but the UN has nothing at all to do with those sexual stimulation lessons, don't they? Right, so sexual stimulation lessons from the 242 schools in England came from the All About Me campaign. So I researched All About Me and I found that All About Me had removed that sexual stimulation after uproar from the parents, right? So they removed that overnight like that. That's how quick it is to change these documents, right? You can't change legislation like that, just these silly bloody documents, okay? So anyway, it goes on to All About Me. Scroll down to the bottom of the page. What do I find? United Nations. Ta-da! Now, also, United Nations announced a global rollout of this a long time ago, right? So this is real. I am not making this up. This is real, and it is to do with the UN, okay? This document is telling you to go to United Nations. So, and also, the sexual stimulation comes from the United Nations. You can look it up, right? Everything I'm saying right now, look it up. Do not take my word for it, right? So let's get back to it. So let's say now this framework, right? It doesn't say the kids are going to be sexually stimulated because it's not compulsory, okay? But the legislation is. The legislation is in force. So if a head teacher, like those 242 schools in England, decides, yes, I want this. I want to put sexual education into my primary school. I want to do that. What do? I go to the Welsh Government document. What does the Welsh Government document tell me to do? It tells me to go to UNESCO. All right, guys? It tells them to go to UNESCO, right? So we'll be looking at those now. We'll be looking at the specific age groups and that now in my next video, but we'll look at the up to age 6 first, and then we'll go from age 6 onwards in the next videos, okay? It's really important you understand. I've got to go into those documents with you because I need to show you how the format is confusing you, right? Just like here now, it's lovely, like in here now, what you've got laid out is it mentions the Education Act 96, the Education Act 2002, which you've got the right to withdraw your child. But then further on down, it says you no longer have the right to withdraw your child. And this is for additional needs children as well, okay? This is for PRUs. Now, additional needs children, your children, they go to college, don't they, afterwards, right? Into adulthood. The UNESCO documents go from age 5 to 24. Please check it out, right? So what I want to say to you all is now, because also as well in here, it tells you as well, right, that they are to refer to social services. What page is that on? They to refer to social services if they think the child is in danger or whatever. But basically, it's if you stop a child going to lessons, they can refer to social services. Yeah. Look on page 17, exemption or withdrawal from sex education, okay? You need to look this stuff up, guys. It's important to look this stuff up. This document does not reference any particular studies. What it does do, it shows 10 case studies in the back of local schools, right? The case studies are fantastic. They really are. They look lovely. So we've got Ysgol Pencoch. They did stranger danger. I don't necessarily agree with that because stranger danger is just a small element of a harm a child faces, okay? A child is mostly in danger of people they know. They get abused by people they know. Stranger danger is pretty rare, right? So, although that's good, it needs to be expanded on. Then we've got St. Wallows Primary School. 38% of those children got additional needs. They did faiths, culture and diversity, which is fantastic, right? Bracknell Primary School did loads of family events, and they promote family, family involvement. It also improved the school attendance, which is great, okay? But we know now that this case study is irrelevant to this because they've legislated to cut the family out, right? So I would really support this Bracknell Primary School thing. I mean, that was something I would legislate for. I would legislate for that, actually. And then we had Ysgol Gyfan Gymraeg Plasmawr, and they did gender equality. I think they were a comp school. So, yeah, so to cut this long story short, the case studies in the back of this document are fabulous. It makes the document look lovely. But also, it refers to the UN, okay? They've taken it from the UN. So these case studies in the back are totally irrelevant, right? These case studies make the Welsh Government document look nice. They have nothing at all to do with the United Nations, guys. Nothing whatsoever. We've already seen those documents, right? We've seen them. We've touched on them. They're online. Look at them, right? That's all I'm going to say. So all I want to say on this now, okay, the 10 pathetic pages is there. Please look at it. Please look at it. Please understand what you're reading. Any questions, bring it to me. Bottom line is this, guys. I don't want to talk to you anymore about framework, okay? I don't want to talk to you about the Welsh Government framework. I don't want to talk to you about England framework, okay, because framework changes. We can talk, while we're all talking about framework, our legislation's going through, right? We can't move our legislation. So can we just make a deal? All I want to do now is, right, we'll stop talking about framework, we'll chuck the legislation out, and then we'll all come together and discuss a way forward with framework, yeah? I don't want to talk about framework now. Let's get rid of the legislation, then we'll sit down together and we'll do a wholesome approach. Do you know what I mean? This needs to be caregiver, school, student. It needs to be a three-way partnership. They said in 2014 education began at home. Why are they cutting us out, right? So let's forget about the framework. Let's not argue about the framework. Please stop sending me screenshots on Wales Online. I don't care about Wales Online. I'm trying to read these documents and I've been reading them for 7 years, right? So take your Wales Online where the sun don't shine. I don't care about that. Let's not argue on Facebook about that. Let's all say, right, okay, fair enough. Let's agree to disagree. Let's get rid of this legislation just in case it is deviant, right? And then we'll discuss the framework after. Because what you need to remember is, guys, as well, right? People from the United Nations have been convicted of crimes against children, right? One was just over a year ago. He's one of the top guys now, right? I'm going to put a link on my Facebook now. Have a look. If you want these people to bring this legislation into your country, which you can't change, then that's fair enough. But I'm not prepared to do it, right? I'm not here to fight for the parents. I'm here to share my information with the parents. I'm here for the children, okay? I'm going to fight with or without you. It's entirely up to you. You either get on board or you don't. But I'm just going to say, now let's get rid of the legislation and we'll all go after, please. Can we do that? I think that's the best way forward. Next video, we'll be covering 0 to 6 in the World Health Organization documents. Then after that, somebody's asked me to do a video on what I think sex education should look like, which I always promote that anyway, and I'll do that by Friday. After that, we'll get down to business, okay? We will look at all the frameworks, we'll look at the resources, we will look at diversity role models, all about me, educate and celebrate. We will look at absolutely everything relating to what's going on around us, right? We'll do updates on our campaign, we'll hit the road running, we'll be out with our petitions, we'll be out with our leaflets. We're going to make some noise now, right? What we need to do is drum up support, get everyone informed, and after that, we'll find a way forward. So, like I said, guys, look at this, right? This is not my words. These are not my words, okay? I did not write this paperwork. I just read it. You cannot get your answers from one document, right? Like even the sexual rights. Now you're going to have to look at the UNESCO AIDS and HIV documents, okay, to get a full picture. Now I'm going to show you all this because this is what I do. You are never going to get your answers in one document, so let's just cut that for a start, right? If you're either going to go for it like I do and try and get up to speed, or just sit this out. I do not criticise us because we're working really hard. We're not going to be trolled by anyone. Do you know what I mean? We're not going to do it. We are fighting for the children with or without you. So like I said, you either get on board or step aside, because we've got some work to do. Any questions, put them in the comments and I'll try and do an update to answer you. And I'm going to go and dye my hair. Thank you. Bye.